Joining us right now, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Chad. Great to be with you as always.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. You were named this past week as the Donald Trump Texas chairman. So congratulations on that new title and being, I guess, officially part of the campaign. What does that title mean exactly, and what is your what is your job duty, I guess, as Texas chairman?
Well, thanks, Chad. It's been an interesting year because I was the state chair for Ted Cruz. I was leading his campaign in the state, which was very successful. I mean, he won by March and worked with him across the country. But once it was Donald Trump as our nominee, my focus as a Republican is to unify our party, not just here in Texas, but help across the country with the Trump campaign because we have to defeat Hillary Clinton. You know, Chad, this election, we've all heard it. Every one of your listeners has heard it, that this is the most important election of our lifetime. This one is. And for one key reason, the Supreme Court hangs in the balance. This is a generational election. If Hillary appoints only one Supreme Court justice over the next 4 years to take Scalia's place, I think it could easily be 2 or 3. That changes the balance of the court to be a liberal court for the first time pretty much in most of our lifetime. And that means that long after she's gone, if she serves 1 term or 2 terms, she will have an imprint and an impact on our grandchildren and our children and our nation forever. So we have to stop her. So, I used to be, in fact, I'll be on Neil Cavuto on his show on Fox this morning around 11:30 our time on the Fox Business Channel. But he used to ask me at the end of the campaign during the primary, he said, well, look, it's down to Cruz and Trump. You're a Cruz supporter. If Trump wins, will you be with him? I said, absolutely. And if Cruz wins, I expect the Trump people to be with Ted, because this is no longer about our primary. This is about defeating the most left candidate the Democrats have ever put up who actually has a chance to win. I mean, they've had other leftists that didn't have a chance to win. But I want you to think about something, Chad, she said a few weeks ago. And she called all Republicans supporting their candidate, which is not Donald Trump, deplorable, sexist, racist, homophobic, et cetera, et cetera. She also said something, Chad. She said, we're irredeemable. Now,
right.
That was the most offensive part. In other words, we're irredeemable. Irredeemable. Everyone is redeemable in life. That's, anyone who's read Mark Luke John knows that's the whole point of the New Testament. But for her to suggest that half the country, and it's going to be a close race, that half the country is some low-life person, her view is irredeemable just because they voted against her, tells you how radical she is. So that's why I'm on board. I want. First of all, you asked me what my job description is. Number one, I've been working for several months with Trump since he won the nomination. I was with him again Saturday. He was in Houston for a fundraiser, and he also gave a speech before the families of murdered victims at the hands of illegal aliens. But I've traveled with him now, and I've been working with their education policy for the last 3 months, helping shape that as one of their policy directors, and that's why he's came out strongly for school choice, charters, et cetera, those types of issues. But my role is to be sure he wins by a large margin in Texas, and he's going to win Texas. But
do you buy into these polls that show him only up 6 points? I think it's closer to 8 to 10 points. Do you buy into the closer polls?
Chad, I think it's somewhere between 6 and 8 or higher. Romney won and McCain won by 12 or 14. So we need to get Trump up there 9, 10, 11, 12. Anything high single digits or double digits would be a great victory. And here's the reason. We don't want the Democrats to think they have a shot in 2018 when we have the governor's race, my race, senator's race, all of our Republican statewide up again. We beat them soundly 60-40, Abbott and myself, in 2014, and they had the so-called battleground Texas campaign. Texas has to stay Republican, or we never have a chance to win the White House. Could you imagine, Chad, if Texas fell to the Democrats and the electoral votes went to them? There wouldn't be any Republican who could even win if you threw our electoral votes to the Democrats. So part of it is I want him to win and unify the party big in Texas. Number two, I want to help all of our down-ballot candidates. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Republicans running for judge and sheriff and district attorney, and our legislators and our congressmen all over the state. And so that's my goal, and it's also part of the Trump team goal. And thirdly, I will be working with him around the country as needed, because they get a lot of requests for speakers. He can only be in one place at one time, as well as family, so we'll be helping doing that. And we'll be building a strike force, which we're already building, to send out to other states in these key battleground states to have Texans making phone calls and knock on doors.
I think here in Texas, and we're visiting with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is the new Texas chairman for Donald Trump's campaign. I think here in Texas, people are starting to unify. Republicans are starting to unify.
Agree.
But I still hear from some who say they cannot trust Donald Trump, even when it comes to the Supreme Court. You've seen him pivot on some other issues to the more moderate side. This is what people argue. Now, let me ask you this. Have you met with Donald Trump one-on-one, privately, in person? And if you have, what can you tell those people who just, as of right now, they just can't trust Donald Trump to forget being a conservative, to be on the Republican side and to appoint those conservative Supreme Court justices?
Great question, Chad. First of all, the first time I met him back in June, I flew with him on his plane. He was making a round robin around the state, Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. So I did have private time. Actually, Rick Perry was with us. It was just the three of us, Rick Perry, myself, and Trump. So I had that private time, and I've since had private time. They're in short time frames. So this Saturday we talked several minutes as he was going through the event, meeting people and taking photographs and giving speeches. But I spent a lot of time with him. I wish everyone could meet him personally, because he is very gracious, very kind. He listens. He's learning. So the process for him, he's not a political, he's not a political, person, really. He's a business guy running for office. I have total confidence. First of all, I will say this. I have total confidence that Hillary Clinton, if you took the top 10 things important to you and your audience and me, that she won't be with us on any of the 10. Period. I mean, we don't have to doubt her. She will appoint a liberal Supreme Court without question. She will not take on ISIS. She will not rebuild the military. She will not repeal Obamacare. She will not bring about education reform. She will not create jobs. She will raise taxes. She will expand, and she will take away our guns. There's no question in my mind. Donald Trump won't do any of those things. Now, if you put the top 10 issues up, will he hit 10, 41? Few Republicans do, because we have Republicans. Even if someone hits 9, we say, yeah, but they didn't do the 10 thing. But I had absolute confidence that he's going down that path. And by the way, you mentioned his shifting on issues. I don't know what issue he shifted on. There was some conversation for a few days about his view on the border. Look, when he came out and gave that first speech a few days after, it was as strong as dirt. I mean, he laid it out. So there's been no shifting on issues that I'm aware of. And again, we go back to this. Anyone who says I'm a never Trumpster or I'm not going to get out and support him, I'll wait 4 years. This may be our last chance, Chad, and I'm not being overly dramatic here, but this may be our last chance ever to elect a Republican to the White House. It's already tough for any Republican. I mean, take any of the 17 that were on the stage. Again, I supported Ted early, but take any of the, whoever you have, pick anybody. You've got to win Florida. You have to win Ohio. You have to win North Carolina or Virginia. You have to win Colorado. You have to win Arizona. You have to win Nevada. You have to pick up a state like Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin. It's the way the Electoral College is set up. We could win the popular vote, but we can lose the Electoral College. So imagine 4 years. So it's pretty tough. So imagine 4 years from now with Hillary Clinton. She'll build her organization. She'll have an unlimited amount of money to rerun for office, and she will have appointed a little court that will strike down every photo voter ID law in the nation. And she will open our borders up to hundreds of thousands of new people here who she will be sure that they vote. So this is it. Anyone who sits on the sideline, well, I just don't know about this guy. I understand they may say, yeah, well, I'm not sure. They can be sure that Hillary will pull their country out from under them. Absolutely. So the stake of our nation, the main thing I'm so engaged in, Chad, is I have 4 grandkids. This is their life I'm focused on. This is the future of our nation. So this is not time to sit on the sidelines anymore.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, appreciate your time. I know you have other interviews to get to. We'll let you get to those.
Hey, thank you, Chad. I always appreciate being with you. And, again, thanks to all your great listeners who helped me win this lieutenant governor's position 2 years ago. I'm greatly appreciative, and it's the best job I've ever had, and I'm blessed to have it. Thank you. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. That's Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick here on the Chad Hasty Show, named this past Friday, I believe, as the Texas chairman for the Donald Trump campaign.